The world's top rhino farmer is John Hume. With more than 1,400 rhinos, the biggest private owner of endangered species is at war against poachers, but also on a warpath to legalize rhino horn trading as his only valid option for the survival of rhinos.
We are losing the war. But what is the good of hanging on to the Kruger National Park and in 5 years' time having no rhinos there anyway? What's the good of that? Even Pilanesberg is suffering heavily with poaching.
The rhinos are in crisis. They are fast becoming extinct. South Africa is home to nearly 70% of just under 30,000 rhinos left on Earth. In order to protect them, rhino owners are cutting their horns off. The dehorning of rhinos here is done professionally and regularly. The horns grow back fast, adding 20 to 60 centimeters each year.
How can it possibly increase our poaching in the Kruger National Park if we dump 5 or 6 ton of horn on Vietnam every year? I have 6.5 ton. Logic tells me it will decrease the poaching. The more rhino there is floating around Vietnam, the less people will seek it and the less people will pay somebody to go and kill our rhinos in the Kruger Park.
A fully grown rhino horn weighs approximately 10 kilograms, scoring $60,000 per kilogram, bringing in $600,000 per rhino horn. No wonder that rhino horn is in demand. We have received a lead with a phone number from a guy who apparently lives in SoWeTo, a big township just outside Johannesburg. He says his name is Mike. So I'm here at the arranged spot and I have phoned Mike the poacher twice and he hasn't picked up his phone. So we just got another phone call and it's all a bit of a rush, but he says he can meet us in the next 10 minutes. SoWeTo from my place is about 15 minutes, so I'm... First rhino?
Well, to be honest, I really didn't feel much. It was just another way of making money.
Operating and finding a rhino, are you shooting the rhino?
No, we work in a group of 4, but I'm hoping to be the shooter soon, due to the fact that he gets paid way more than I do.
What are you scared of the most?
Well, what I'm scared of the most is usually it's quite risky going out due to the fact that there is security. So I'd say the worst fear is getting shot.
How many poachers are being killed in southern Africa every year is not really an official figure. But we have learned that about 500 Mozambican poachers in the Kruger National Park got killed in just 5 years. So that's 100 poachers a year.
More equipment to figure out what's happening. So now they're tapping people's phones. They go through people's devices, they use drones, they use pretty much the things you see in the movies.
He's obviously not telling us of how he is spending his $170,000 every month on security to keep his animals alive. But it starts far away from his rhino ranch. Some say that DNA samples are not just collected from rhinos, but also from people who handle the animals directly, plus their friends and family members. Quite often poachers come in the morning hours. Waiting throughout the night, they have checked out the place, seeing movement of cars, checking the fences and seeing where they can easily enter a farm. Quite often poachers have intel and nobody really knows where that intel is coming from. But because of all the money involved,
we need better and more equipment. Foot soldiers are not the answer we're working towards. We need to get away from the human element, which is basically your weakest link.
With roughly 3 rhinos a day being killed, it is down to simple math to figure out when rhinos will be extinct and our kids will remember rhinos only as statues or from old TV footage. So although they look so friendly, they seem to be running out of time. And John Hume seems to be running out of time. He seems to have very little effort spared to fight for white and black rhinos. White rhinos behind us here. He's also not allowed to officially sell rhino horn, which means the $45 million that he has accumulated with 6.5 tons of rhino horn, he's not allowed to sell. This is Boris Friedel for Global Review, Johannesburg, South Africa.